Now, this story, Gauteng Health supply chain and asset management head has been fired. Thandiwe Pino was implicated in illegal PPE contracts. Well, let's get the details from the SIU itself. We're speaking now to Kaizer Kganyago. Kganyago, good afternoon. Welcome to the Midday View. Good to see you. And each time nowadays we speak to you, you've got a new development. That's like we're making progress as the SIU in this fight against corruption. In this case, it's the SIU with the PPE in Gauteng Health. Tell us more about it.
Well, thank you very much, Braden. This issue has been lingering for a while. People will remember it relates to Royal Baka, Letla Construction, and Biadika. Therefore, in those instances, we found as the SIU that Ms. Pino has contravened a lot of sections, like Section 5(7) of our Act was saying that we should then send this evidence for the disciplinary action. And in that evidence, we are saying that Section 2171 of the Constitution was allegedly contravened. We're saying the Public Finance Management Act was also contravened. Preferential Procurement Policy Framework Act, Regulation 45A to E were also contravened, and the supply chain policies of the department were done. Therefore, we gave all of that with the evidence to the department, and we monitored that until the department was able to take her through a disciplinary process. And once that was done, we were then able to get a response from the department because we were monitoring it. For us, it's an issue of consequence management. And now we got information that it was done and she was found guilty and dismissed with immediate effect.
So in practice, what is it that she did wrong? You've mentioned a number of acts, including the PFMA and processes. What is it that she should have done that she didn't do? Did she sign off on a particular one of those PPE contracts and not follow the right procedures?
Yes, what we found when we were dealing with this matter, we found that in spite of the fact that she is the head that is responsible for all those legislations, she then gave this contract to Royal Baka and Letla Construction without following the processes. And for us, it was very clear to say, you are the person that needed to have known that these processes are not there just for fun. They are there to be dealt with, especially if you remember at the time, Braden, there was this issue of the notes that were put together by Treasury to say, even though this is an emergency, these are the things that needs to be done. Even through the emergency, the processes need to be followed. It's just shortened version of the process. But she had not done so, and there was evidence enough that we presented with our investigators to the disciplinary hearing to show what she should have done that she did not do. Therefore, in that case, you remember we referred her and the former CFO and the head of department. The other two resigned and she remained. And then that's why she had to go through the disciplinary process. And
so
we are
what do we call this?
She is now being.
What do we call this in your book? Is it incompetence? It's negligence? It's recklessness? It's ignorance? What do you call this?
No, from where we are sitting, it looks like they were doing it deliberately because they wanted to favor the specific companies for whatever reason.
So there was a lot of deliberate intent there. Okay, so Ms. Pino is out now after that disciplinary process. I guess many South Africans will be happy to hear that as the SIU, when you find wrong and you point out you want consequences and you continue to monitor the situation. Is there anybody else still remaining, still standing in Gauteng after these illegal PPE contracts? Or is this the end of that said chapter in the recent history of the PPE tender?
No, there are still investigations being done in that sector, specifically because you will remember that this is the three that I'm referring to, the two had resigned and we then blocked their pension, if you remember, the head of department and the CFO. And this one is now being fired. And now, this was only in relation to one contract. And we are dealing with over 200 contracts in Gauteng alone. Therefore, there might still be a lot of heads that might roll, and also consequence management around other issues that relates to that.
Were all those 199 or those 200 contracts, Were they all in the same Department of Health?
Yes, all of them are in relation to the Department of Health in the PPE issue. And those are the companies that we are looking at. Obviously, some we are going to find that nothing has, they have not done anything wrong. But where we find any wrongdoing, we are clearly sending a clear message to say, even though it was not our responsibility to discipline the official, we follow up as the SIU and make sure that consequence management is dealt with. And we will do so to anyone that we find after that.
Okay, Ntate Kganyago, thank you very much for talking to us. We'll keep you, I'm sure you'll keep us updated as the SIU progresses there. And it's good to see you, and I'm pleased that you have recovered from COVID-19. Kaizer Kganyago from the SIU there. Recently, he was not well. He was also affected by COVID-19. But thankfully, he has recovered. His standing is strong there, still doing the work for the SIU.